to find a way this season, but they face a Brisbane Roar side who have been in fine form this season, seeing themselves the best defence in the competition, sitting second on the table behind Melbourne City. They'll be looking to continue the form that saw them beat the Central Coast Mariners last weekend. They'll have a big test against the Newcastle Jets side when they are in really good form. They are going to be hard to beat, but number 2 sports ground, always good to have fans in the stands and lots of atmosphere, and the Newcastle locals always do a great job of that as these sides just sitting in the tunnel not too long before they head out onto the pitch. But a big game for these two teams. Newcastle Jets sitting 6th at the moment, can see themselves push further up the league table, and for the Brisbane Roar trying to make sure they keep in touch with Melbourne City. But for the Newcastle Jets, with Danielle Krajnak getting a red card in last week's game, she's once again unavailable. So Tiana Robertson starts in goals, and Ryan Campbell also makes one change. Josie Allen, who started last weekend, starts on the bench as Libby Copus-Brown comes in. So that may be a tactical change to get some numbers in the midfield. And Lauren Allen, for the second game in a row after scoring the match winner last week, starts on the bench once again. And for the Brisbane Roar, they got one big out, and that's Tamika Yallop, who was unavailable, as Lainey Freier gets her first ever start in the competition. She's had 2 substitutes appearances, so her first time to start alongside her sister this afternoon. But the only other changes that Alex Smith makes to his side are on the bench, as Isabella Hoyos and Tanae Morris also start on the bench this afternoon. So we see these sides ready to go. Not too long before we start, but Ryan Campbell is always having to make lots of decisions. So we see Momo Hayashi there. Hasn't she been in such fine form this season? As Momo Hayashi, she's been in such fine form this season. 2 goals to her name and an assist as well. And the second most touches for the Brisbane Roar. So when she gets on the ball, something good usually happens. Able to dictate it without Tamika Yallop. She's going to play a pivotal role in this game this afternoon. Need to get her involved. And if you're Newcastle Jets, you want to limit her actions on the park. And there is Tiana Robertson. It's been 6 games before this one this season. Robertson has played in 4, and so has Danielle Krajnak. So it's a story of how the goalkeeping position has gone for the Newcastle Jets this season. And for Ryan Campbell, must be a sort of headache going on, trying to figure out what he's going to do. Every time Tiana Robertson has been in goal, she's certainly been reliable, but he's persisted at when Krajnak has been available. He's gone back to her. Will we see a change? Can Tiana Robertson secure her position in the goals? But referee for this afternoon's fixture, Georgia Ghirardello, assistant referees Maddie Along and Alexis Johnson, and 4th official Declan Woods. It really was a thriller for the Newcastle Jets. Coming up with a player down within 15 minutes and then coming back to win. And there is Alex Smith. His side has been in such fantastic form. I don't think he could have dreamt of a better start for the league campaign, is where they sit at the moment. But his pre-match press conference, he talked about how a busy schedule the Brisbane Roar have got coming up. They've got 2 away games, and then they've got 3 games in a span of 8 days, which sees them play the likes of Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City. So it'll be a big test for them, but they need to start well here up against the Newcastle side, who certainly are going to be pressing them, and it'll be a real test of the steel in Brisbane Roar's side and their ability to play through the press, which we've seen them do really well throughout this season. But can they do it up against this Newcastle Jets side, who are unpredictable at times? You see Sheridan Gallagher, Sheridan Park, return to football after playing in the NRLW. Been active, lively up front for the Newcastle Jets. I'd love to get some more goals to her name to really help this side out, but she is certainly a threat up front, and a massive threat in this game is Sian Freier for the Brisbane Roar. Matilda, she was phenomenal for them last season. Can she continue to have a great season this this year as Hayashi plays it out, and that misses everybody, so it's immediately given back to the Newcastle Jets. It's going to be an interesting tactical battle between these two sides. Ryan Campbell's Newcastle, they will press Brisbane, but Brisbane have shown throughout this season their capabilities of playing through and being comfortable on the ball. Will we see Newcastle up that tempo in terms of their press, or lower it at risk of maybe Brisbane playing potentially through them? There's instant clash there. As we see Tamar Levin fouled by Sophie Hoban. Varley. McQueen. And there is Chelsea Blissett turning this season after the ACL injury, and that's a beautiful pass forward, a chance. Freier pulling back, but the run continues for Kulumalu, and Kulumalu! That's exactly how you respond. Ice cold, certainly. It's a warm day at the number 2 sports ground, but ice in her veins, a fantastic finish. Got to give a lot of credit to Chelsea Blissett for the initial ball over the top. Freier tried to do all she could, holding her back, but Kulumalu continued that run, and a really beautiful finish. As you take a look at that, she wasn't fazed by the initial pull, and then too much space was left in that goal by Robertson, and Kulumalu slots it into the far post. And that's exactly how you want to start if you're Alex Smith's team. A really, really good, impressive start. I mentioned they can play through the middle, but that ball over the top from Blissett was perfect. Kulumalu able to take it in stride. And now, how does Ryan Campbell's side react? How do they respond? Brisbane side, they are very, very dangerous. They have a habit of scoring the spectacular, but that was just quite simply a really perfectly well executed goal from the team. Bauman, ball deflected. Now, once again, Brisbane breaking forward, and Kulumalu maybe just got a little bit overexcited. Certainly offside. Ball's bouncing around, and foul there. Blissett. Down the line for Freier. Followed by Chico. Nice 1-2 with Claudia Chico, as she does best. Really, really good in those one-on-one duels, and a chance for Sheridan Gallagher. She is all by herself, has to wait, has to draw some players. Looks to be fouled. Went to the ground, waved up by Ghirardello. And offside called. Let's take a look at that run from Kulamu as Freier was pulling her back. Really well taken strike to finish it off. You can see the joy and the excitement, ice cold. Maybe she's a fan of Trae Young in the NBA. He does that celebration a fair bit. Bauman. That ball wasn't easy to control. Immediately returned. Now Levin once again. Brisbane really applying that pressure on the right-hand side. What a way to start this game. First goal of the season for Grace Kulamu. It's Chelsea Blissett going to take this free kick. Georgia Ghirardello having a chat. Some players about the pushing. Obviously, Tiana Robertson, not the biggest goalkeeper. Blissett, dangerous ball. Freier headed it down, needs to be cleared. Hayashi up against Copus Brown as Hayashi swung an arm there and somehow wins the free kick in all of it. Look at that. Certainly initially pulled by Copus Brown and showed a little bit of frustration. That arm didn't swing as what it looked like in the initial play. Once again, Chelsea Blissett on set piece duties. These are the danger areas for Robertson. Blissett goes along the ground this time, but cleared away. Freier. It's the far post, but ended up sitting in the middle for Robertson. Looking for an outlet, can't find anyone, just has to send it long and high. And it's going to return almost immediately. It does go out of play, so it actually works out as Devon Jackson just tried to sneak a couple of extra metres. Chico. This is everybody. The execution we're so used to seeing from Brisbane. Had an interesting week last week. He was supposed to play the Mariners on the Saturday, but obviously with the rain, that game ended up getting pushed to Sunday afternoon. So did that affect their preparation this week? Obviously, essentially losing a day. Hayashi. Well taken. Now a chance. And that ball might just sit nicely for Sian Freier. Doesn't really have anybody else except for Claudia Chico. Freier cuts it across. Falls this time. And that's straight into the hands of Tiana Robertson from Grace Kalamu. Davis. Jackson. That's a dangerous ball. Robertson got bowled over. There's an over eager Grace Koilamu coming through, and they do get a free kick. Had that one-on-one. Bauman. Davis. Now a chance to work their way out of trouble. McQueen caught under the ball, nudged off it by Hoban. Still, they all fight for it, and Newcastle come away with it. That was an inviting ball across. So that possession, 60% to 40 for Newcastle, which is probably to be expected. Hoban going inside. Freier searching. That's a nice ball across, but Sian Freier in the right position. That's what you want from your attackers. They're going to come down and defend. Do the job right, as Freier just did. Dundas. Jackson. Closely shadowed. Bauman. First clear sign of possession for Newcastle as they lose out. It's going to go back to Brisbane. It did initially look like it was Brisbane's ball. Blissett. Dundas. Back out to Gallagher. That's a dangerous ball. So, a whip on that. Since returning, Sheridan Gallagher certainly has shown the power and the movement she can get on a football. So with a long-range effort. Jackson. Going to send it in over the top of McQueen. And then finally cleared by Debrahan Delaha. Hayashi. Blissett. Oh, that one's going out of play. It looked like a handball there from Freier as that skies it over the top of the crossbar. Should take a look at that chance. It did look like it. Delaney Freier's arm, but chance went for Newcastle anyway. Blissett. Varley can't get caught on the ball. We've seen a few sides throughout the competition must be a little bit sloppy getting out from the back, as Aaron Campbell certainly applauds it. Side applying the pressure, forcing the mistake as Gallagher just nudges Hayashi off the ball. Still retains possession. Jackson going to send the ball in. Needs to be cleared. Smart play. Levin. Koilamu. And this is some nice football from the Brisbane Roar. Foot race, and Robertson gets there first. That was a really nice bit of play from Brisbane through the middle of the park. Got to be impressed by that if you're Alex Smith. Maybe would have liked a chance to get away as George Ghirardello momentarily gets in the way. Bauman, closely shadowed by Levin. Finds Cass Davis. Chico. Jackson. See, they're looking for that through ball, Newcastle. Every time when their midfielders is able just to turn into a little bit of space, they're looking for that out ball as Freier and Chico getting into a battle. And Claudia Chico, Sean Freier, two players not afraid to get in a little bit of a tussle. And Claudia Chico, every time she gets in one of these physical battles, I think it might be her favourite part of the game. Always smiling after. Copus Brown. Copus Brown can tee up if she wants, and then off the back of Varley. Hayashi. I'm just going to play it down in the box. Not quite sure who it is at the moment. Slayer Varley on the centre backs.
Just be careful not getting caught. The 1v1. Yeah. Last one.
There's just a moment to have a break in the game. We take a look at this battle with Sean Freier and Claudia Chico. Once again, lots of pulling of the shirt. just getting shoved off the ball. Sean Freier said, "Get off me." Have none of that. But a chance for Cass Davis to have a conversation with her defence and midfield. They need to do a better job of getting out from the back. As Varley looks to be good. And play should resume any moment. Is playing through. That one misses everybody except for Hayashi. Just gets once again knocked over by Sheridan Gallagher. George Ghirardelli doesn't signal for anything, so play continues, and now Copus Brown beats Blissett. Can get the ball into the box. Gallagher with the outstretched boot. Can he bring it down? Still, it falls. Can they get it under control? Hoban can't. Davis able to hold off Tamar Levin. As Sakani able to collect. Chico has to wait for the ball and gets good distance on the clearance. But Gallagher was coming from an offside position. As Sheridan Gallagher just went straight through Romo Hayashi, and that is certainly not it's not a football kind of play. Maybe NRL, but that's not a football play, that one. Very lucky Sheridan Gallagher to not be cautioned and even get a name in the book. McQueen, Hayashi, Gallagher. McQueen. Chance to reset for Brisbane. You see Gallagher initiating that press. Here's Ryan Campbell, who usually starts it for Newcastle. They'll say something and they'll go, so it's very controlled, the press from the Jets, but at the moment, Brisbane not looking too troubled as Blissett. It's a good ball down the line for Freier, who just can't control it. Gave a little bit too much space for Jackson. Dundas, Chico. Robertson bobbled it momentarily, and this is going to go out for a Brisbane throw-in. Really good from Alex Smith's fullbacks. Debray and Delaharp. And Chelsea Blissett. The ball's forward. Looking very inviting. Copus Brown, as that's deflected out by Blissett. Blissett down by Woods. And elbowed momentarily by Freier. Can't get a clear path Newcastle when they are in the final third. Chico. Bauman can tee up if she likes. Davis picks up the run. Back to Bauman. Chico wants to go. Claudia Chico scored her first goal ever in the Ninja A-League competition earlier this season. Looking for the second. That one didn't have the power that her first did. Freier. Varley. McQueen. 4 for 11. Has to hold off one, and Delaharp came to help out. Delaharp. Bauman. Was fouled by Kwalamu. The goal feels like it was so long ago. Game certainly has settled since then. It felt like Newcastle were constantly under waves of pressure from Brisbane, particularly on that right-hand side, but they've managed to just slow down the frequency of attacks from Brisbane. Now they just need to generate something of their own to get back into this contest. Bauman. That path was blocked by 11. Freier needs to be careful. Ball could fall, but as she's done for so long these last 2 seasons, been so composed. That pass maybe just wasn't what she was after, but put them out of a dangerous area. Tash Freier. I'm going to give credit to Deborah Delaharp. I initially credited that fantastic ball over the top for Grace Koilamu for the opening goal to Chelsea Blissett, who's also been in fine form. That was Deborah Delaharp with the assist, so joins her 2 goals this season and her first assist of the campaign. Delaharp. McQueen. Hayashi. That's a good ball into space, but a little bit too far forward for Freier and easy to collect for Robertson. Robertson under pressure, and that is such a dangerous pass. That is one of those things that coaches tell you not to do, but Robertson in that moment had to, and it could be the release for Newcastle to get forward. Davis wants to send it across, and it misses everybody, and that just been the killer for Newcastle as they've been building into the final third. They've looked good up until a point, and then that final pass needed. They're trying to switch of play or just play quickly through a congested area. They've just struggled early in this game, but promising signs, at least they're getting there. Copus Brown didn't know how to trap it. Bauman. Davis. Bauman once again sends it out, this time to Hoban. So it's a cross and a cheeky back heel across the face of goal. He's inviting. Saw that ball out. Actually by India Breyer and Sheridan Gallagher. It was a unique attempt at goal, but just slightly off target. But it was a really good ball from India Breyer, very promising. And Sheridan Gallagher certainly got a shot away. It may fall nicely for Freier, but Tash Freier was the one to get in the way. Calmly done. Dundas, Freier. Nobody there. Sheridan Gallagher up against Holly McQueen. You know Gallagher likes these sorts of battles. And straight into Leah Varley. The foul's being called, and there is some pushing and shoving from Leah Varley and Sheridan Gallagher. As Gallagher certainly just with a slight trip, I think, on Leah Varley as she was walking away. Has been involved in a few battles early in this game, Sheridan Gallagher. Not surprising. Georgia Garridello has a word with those two. I have a feeling it won't be the last time in this game. And Leavali does get her name in the book. So, Brisbane, another wrinkle for their defensive line. They have been, as I mentioned, the best defence throughout the campaign. They've only conceded 6 goals to their name. Something they have to think about with Leavali on a yellow card up against Sheridan Gallagher. Got Freier. It's quite straight on. Maybe a little bit far out, but if you want to go for a strike, you would be well within your rights. And that's exactly what Freier does. Just over the crossbar. It was a good effort on goal, off target, but take a look at that. She hit it really well, but kind of just stayed and didn't continue to rise, but just didn't dip in time to really put Olivia Sakani under any real pressure. Koulamu once again wants to play quickly. Freier shoved in the back. Gallagher wins out. Davis, can they work quickly? Freier, Davis. This is a good ball. Nice bit of play from Newcastle. Hoban, Freier. It's a good ball into the middle of the box, but nobody was ready for it. McQueen heads it straight up and not away, and that ball falls for Davis. Cass Davis. Some feet. Forced wide. Can they reset? Good ball into the box. There's Devon Jackson. It was nicely worked from Freier to get another delivery into the box. It looked like that ball was going to go out of play, but she did really well to get something in there, and Jackson almost around, but Sian Freier, she's done a few times getting in the right spot defensively, the forward. One back. Hoban. Davis. Freier. McQueen forced to come off the line. This could be a little bit of space, but Hayashi covers and headed away by Jackson. Freier tries to get some extra distance on it. Wasn't able to do so. Don't have a lot of numbers forward. And they do have Grace Koulamu. Tiana Robertson's going to head back to her goal. So there's going to be a lot of work for Tash Freier. 1-on-1 against Koulamu. Got 11 in there, and that wasn't the best effort, but it was probably the best you could do in that situation for Koulamu. So a corner for Brisbane. It's always dangerous, those ones for keepers. Robertson elected to go back and just had to trust her defenders to get in position and not sell her out, as Freier was able to knock it out of play. Lainey Freier, first start. That's a dangerous ball to the far post, headed down by Blissett. That'll be another corner. Been good deliveries for Brisbane. In a really crowded area. Blissett got her head to it, just kind of missed it ever so slightly, was kind of a bit too much over the top of the ball. She'll get to send this ball into the box once again. High arching ball, headed away by Dundas. Falls to Hayashi, still bobbling around. Freier couldn't get the control. Hopus Brown now Just trying to give some breathing room and space. And that ball will find some space out of the field of play. Aaron Campbell surely be impressed with his side's resilience so far in this game and the turnaround of sorts. He certainly settled in this game. They've just got to build some chances going forward. They're a side that create a lot of big chances. Could they create one now? Gallagher. And a chance here for Davis! Cass Davis, the captain, when needed most, once again gets on the score sheet to bring this game level. Really nicely done. Newcastle able to pick Brisbane off. Sloppy. Gallagher did well to play it out. Got in between Woods and the ball. Played it to Freier. And there was Cass Davis. Had a world of space to aim at. And well worked. And they're back square in this game. India Freier, who has been dangerous on that left-hand side. The crucial pass. Gets an assist to her name. Cass Davis once again on the score sheet. As she does. It always feels like when Newcastle need a goal, she's there. She didn't score a lot of goals early in her career, but in the last 3 seasons, she's certainly ramped that up. Woods. And it's just as I was mentioning, Newcastle's ability to get back into this game, getting on the score sheet. They've been more dangerous, more lively, actually putting some real pressure on Brisbane, who now, how do they respond in this after having a significant amount of control in this game early on? And they're a side that don't concede very often. Bauman. Blissett. Just waiting for everybody to be set. Looping ball, inviting. Freier thought she may have got a touch to it, but couldn't direct it goalward. But it will come back. McQueen. Bauman to Freier. To Freier. And to the corner flag. The ball will head. Wouldn't that be nice? Freier to Freier. If you're a Brisbane supporter, and more importantly, if you're part of the Freier family. Probably happened in the backyard a few times. Looping ball, easy header, Tamar Levin, left all by herself in the middle of the box. Easy as you like, the outstretched arm of Tiana Robertson was nowhere. And Tamar Levin gets the second, and that's a quick response if you like, Brisbane. Alex Smith certainly pleased, but I'm not quite sure what happened there for Newcastle, for Tamar Levin to have that much space all by herself. Everybody else was behind her. Not sure who was her direct opponent. That's an easy finish. Probably one of the easier goals she'll have to score in her career. Nicely done from Tamar Levin to finish that effort off. Her second goal of the league campaign. That was quite strange from Newcastle, how Levin was able to find that much space, particularly as Brisbane's corners have been quite dangerous throughout this game. Have to be more alert. Surely that was something they spoke about before this game, as looked like Copus Brown had run out of space. McQueen. And it'll be a Newcastle throw in. Hayashi. Delahab. Back to Hayashi. And a world of space for Sean Freier. One-on-one against Robertson. Chico coming across. Robertson had to be strong. Strong glove. Wasn't going to be beaten that time. But how did Sean Freier once again just find that much space? It's happened a few times for Newcastle. These Brisbane wingers have been able just to find a little bit of space, or even the midfielders. It's a little bit troubling, something that I definitely need to be talking at half-time to really limit the amount of chances that Brisbane are getting, because they are a good enough side to create their own. They don't need to be gifted them. Snap ball goes into the middle. Cleared by Dundas, but only as far as Koilamu. Bauman was tripped up by Tamar Levin. Davis. Copus Brown. Dundas just easily shoved off the ball by Woods. Levin. Fouled by just a little bit overzealous Lorena Bauman, former Swiss international. Just clipping the right boot. Tamar Levin, Hayashi. Blissett. Varley. McQueen cutting inside, working their way through, just slicing through them at the moment, Brisbane. Delahab. Tries to go inside and then left a little bit too much of that ball showing. Now Gallagher up against Blissett. It just got him taken out off the ball as both players went for it. And all good as Gallagher gets the yellows. Been a few times she's clattered into an opponent. Only so many times she can get a warning as she just lifted off the ground and just absolutely took Chelsea Blissett out. Made that impact a little bit more painful than it probably needed to be. Need it and love a goal from Sheridan Gallagher in this game to bring Newcastle level once again. They've built back into this game and then just fell asleep at that corner to once again create a gap, but they were building. McQueen. That's too easy for Robertson. Blissett. Hayashi. Creative way to clear it. Couldn't stay in the field of play. Chico. Aaron Campbell giving advice to Claudia Chico in that throw in. They need to be better with that and creating advantages as Koilamu able to beat Freier, and Chico's now racing down to try and cover, and they both do. That is great defensive hustle and work rate from the two Newcastle defenders. Grace Koilamu disagrees, thought there was a foul involved, but the speed at which Claudia Chico came chasing back to deny that chance is really, really impressive. Freier able to control it, gets past Jackson, sends it across, and there it is! Lani Freier gets a goal, celebrates with her sister. Really smart play from Sian Freier to cut it across. Just needed somebody to get a boot on it, and it happened to be her sister. A really good ball from Chelsea Blissett. Once Freier was able to beat Jackson and wasn't closed out, there it was. Lani Freier able to slot it into the back of the net, and there's the third goal for the Brisbane Roar. And there is Freier's first ever goal in the competition, and what a way to get it, an assist from your sister. Very, very proud family and parents must be of those two. Sian getting a Matilda's call up. Lainey getting her first ever goal. Has been really lively in this game. Fantastic. They certainly played together throughout their career. NPL, Queensland, grand finals and many games, but special at the top flight in Australia to be able to do that with your sister. Really, really nice. Hayashi. High looping ball, and Robertson calm to collect. Hayashi. As Woods was getting dragged, but Hoban able to win out. Copus Brown getting forced a little bit wider than she would have liked, and that angle was just a little bit tricky to manage as that ball never got back into the field of play.
We're not playing. No, we're just kicking it long all the time.
And
every time we get it, we kick it long.
Ryan Campbell is having a chat to somebody and a little bit disappointed with them constantly sending the ball long forward, which obviously there are definite benefits to sending the ball long, quite quick route, but that is not the style of football that Ryan Campbell really wants to play. He wants his side to have more possession, wants them to play through the opposition. And in this game at the moment, they're really struggling to do that. And it is a sign of a side that are under a lot of pressure to play the ball long just to relieve some of that pressure. And Woods. That ball's going to be brought back anyway for the foul on Lorena Baumann. So it'll be a free kick for the Newcastle Jets. Let's take a look at that as just coming together. Breyer got the assist for the first goal. Been a little bit quiet in the last few minutes, but period in this first half. She was really, really lively. Can they get her back on the ball? That ball blocked by Varley. Davis to Baumann. Tried to trick Freier out. Wasn't able to do so. Still closely followed. Needs to find somebody. Finds Cass Davis. Found a little bit of space, but there was Alicia Woods to cut it off, and really strong. Certainly getting pulled. Chance to break forward. If they're smart here, Brisbane, and not able to do so that time. And it's going to be 3 minutes added on. 3 goals in this half for Brisbane. As Freier was trying to bob and weave through the traffic. Ali
Indy, drop.
got that yellow card with the collision against Sheridan Gallagher. Lucky for her, hasn't been involved in too many battles one-on-one. So head into half-time with that to think about if you're Alex Smith, but you can imagine very comfortable and will stick with Leah Varley. That ball's just missed by 11, but it works out as Hayashi was the first to react. Freier. And a cut across this time, and her sister, Lani Freier, couldn't put it into the back of the net. And she was a little bit surprised that she came away with the ball. As Freier sent it across really nicely and then went with the right boot. Maybe she could have gone with the left. And that ball went around Robertson and then around the post as well. Blissett did well to intercept. Shine Freier has been really dangerous on the wing as this half is closed out. Blissett. Woods couldn't work that pass through. Chico, Koilamu. Couldn't get Claudia Chico. You can see Brisbane. It's the benefit of going 3-1 up. State of the game means they're able to just take a few more risks and apply more pressure. That ball once again over the top. This time, Tash Pryor looked like she was coming away with it. And Sian Freier was able to quickly regain possession. Dancing with the football, sending it across. Bauman off the feet of Davis. Will it fall for Koilamu? It does. Levin able to trap it. You know, she wants to send it across. Looking for somebody in support, and Copus Brown said, I need to shut this down, and she does. And it's all the action for the first half. Brisbane started really, really well with a beautiful ball from Deborah Ann Delaharp into the path of Grace Koilamu, who gets her first ever goal in the competition, slotted it away. And then Newcastle had to regain some composure, got themselves back into this game with a goal from Cass Davis. But unfortunately for them, just fell asleep momentarily and allowed Tamar Levin an easy header on goal. And that's why at the moment it is Brisbane who are going to head into the half-time break. 2 goals up and looking in some fine form, but probably the highlight for the Friars is an assist and a goal. Friars on both sides. But at half-time it is Newcastle Jets 1, the Brisbane Roar 3. Take a look at the first half highlights. But it started so quickly. It was a beautiful ball from Deborah Ann Delaharp, sat nicely from Grace Koilamu, was getting dragged back, but the composure to continue going, you can see the excitement. Ice cold, took that chance really, really well. There's just too much space on the far side of the goal. Lots to aim at, and she certainly wasn't going to miss, but it was a beautiful finish. And then some sloppy play out from the back. And Sheridan Gallagher was able to pick it off and play it out to India Breyer, who'd really picked up momentum and involvement in the game. Was bound to get an assist and set up Cass Davis for a really nice finish. The ever-reliable Cass Davis getting a goal to her name. But then this, not very long after, Tamar Levin in a world of space, not quite sure who was her direct opponent, but got lost in the traffic, and Robertson lunged for it, but not able to get there. It's quite unfortunate, that one. Newcastle were building into the game. They looked more settled. And then to close out the half, this goal, Sian Freier finding her sister, Lani Freier, streaming through the middle. It's the easiest goal she'll probably ever score, but capped off with your sister playing it to you. Probably had images of that, seen that multiple times in the backyard. Teams they've played together, but a fantastic goal. And that's why Newcastle 3-1 up. That's the most important stat. Brisbane Roar, 51% possession. That is not surprising at all. It was significantly more earlier in the half, and the shots are relatively the same, but Brisbane, where it matters, shots on target. That's how the first half looks on the stats page, but all it really matters is the Brisbane Roar are up 3-1 to the Newcastle Jets. Lots to play for in the second half and lots to build on if you are Newcastle. And for Brisbane, feeling in pretty good form at the moment. But it is 3-1 at the half. We'll see how it plays out in the second.
Fans, it is time for our half-time Christmas relay. We've got 3 contestants down on the field. All the job is simple. Dribble the ball down to the 6-yard box and then take on our mascot, Star and Maverick, who are in the goal. The first player to dribble it down, get inside the 6-yard box, shoot and score, will win themselves today's match ball signed by our Newcastle Jets women's side. So we'll get started in a moment. On the count of 3 contestants. 1, 2, 3, away we go. Let's get behind the Jets fans, make some noise. Looks like the race is 2 now. They're a runaway lead. Into the 6-yard box. I don't know what was in the 6-yard box. Oh, Maverick. Now what do you suggest that?
Well, the Ninja Ray League 2024-25 campaign has certainly produced some great moments, and it's Christmas coming up, so let's have a look and let's enjoy some of the best moments so far.
Flatil, she thought about shooting from that distance. Why not with the season she's having? Markovsky takes on the strike. What a hit! Maya Markovsky! A premeditated celebration with her good mate 18 Keane.
Caspers, dispossessed by Gomez, and a great pass from Pennick. Gomez! The Mariners double their lead, and that is trademark Izzy Gomez, winning the ball and then breaking forward to lash in a goal.
Bosch, Apostolakis again. Goes for the shot, and a brilliant goal from Alexia Apostolakis! Well, she opens her account for Melbourne City in the opening minutes.
Right into the mixer it goes, direct from the corner. Emily Condon in first half stoppage time puts Adelaide in front.
Still Johnston. Leaves it off for Brown. He takes a strike on goal. Brown! What a strike from Kelly Brown. Saw Mires off her line and just said, let me take a crack at it. And that is a sensational opening goal.
And for the fourth time, these two teams meet. And straight away, Emily Gildick might be through. Are we about to see a first-minute goal? What a start for the victory! One of the fastest goals in league history from Emily Gildick.
Well, the Wellington Phoenix are fresh off their longest unbeaten streak as they continue their fantastic form this season, and that was discussed on Dub Zone this week.
So Phoenix has secured their first point ever in Melbourne, which is a pretty amazing milestone in itself. 2 wins and a draw in their past 3 matches after starting the season winless. Has it just started to click?
It has, because this is already their equal club winning streak, and now they have the blockbuster of Sydney FC back at Pororua Park. And we remember, T, what a great atmosphere they created for Courtney Vine last season. This was full-time. They celebrated this like a win because they'll feel it's no less than they deserved. And all the subs they turned to on the bench were key in the build-up to that goal. So they are building momentum, and we said that the signs were there, even with that shaky start to the season.
And it's a win in a sense because, you know, they're in the right, going in the right direction, and Paul Temple, they're doing the things that he wants them to be doing to get some success. But yeah, it'll be really interesting, you know, the trip down there for Sydney, because it's not an easy place to go to and win games.
Went straight to Sydney. Did you see that?
Well, the Wellington Phoenix continued that form this afternoon, beating the Sydney FC 2-0 to continue that form. So that is a fantastic uptick of form for Paul Temple's side and some things to work on for Sydney FC. But you can catch all the Dub Zone. You can catch Dub Zone on Tuesdays on the A-League's website's YouTube channel and 10 Play. Well, we have Christmas next week, but we still have some football to play, and that all is going to start next week, Friday, as the Adelaide United are going to take on Western Sydney Wanderers. And closing out that Friday, Perth Glory are going to take on the Central Coast Mariners as well. That game should certainly have a lot of goals involved. But on the Saturday, we got some big blockbusters coming up. Sydney FC hosting Melbourne Victory, and then Melbourne City taking on the Wellington Phoenix. So two sides in really good form there. And on the Sunday, to close out the round, we have Canberra United taking on the Newcastle Jets and Western United taking on the Brisbane Roar. But tomorrow, the round 7 continues and finishes up as the Central Coast Mariners take on Western United 5 p.m. And you can catch that on 10 Play and Paramount Plus with me. I'll be calling that the action in that game. But we aren't too far away from getting going in this second half. See Cass Davis calling her side, needing to have a chat. What can they do to get some control back in this game, get a little bit more possession, but particularly where they're getting possession in this game, and kind of limit the chances. We've seen the ball over the top a few times from the Brisbane wingers and fullbacks being able to get into some space and play the ball out. There's Grace Koilamu. Got the scoring underway within the opening 2 minutes after a really great ball from Deborah Ann Delaharp. But for Ryan Campbell and his Newcastle Jets, they need to find some level of control. Probably be the best recommendation is they have to score the first goal. Can't allow this to get any harder in terms of the gap between these two sides. Not too far from getting going. Just a pause as we wait for the all clear from Georgia Ghirardello to get us going. Libby Copas-Brown has a very confused look on her face, and now we finally get going for the second half as Newcastle want to play quickly. Hoban. And that was not cleared the best, but Sakani able to get a hold of it. Haven't really seen a lot of Olivia Sakani. Been a very, very quiet afternoon for her. And if you are just joining us in the second half, firstly, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Tamika Yallop unavailable for this Brisbane Roar side after getting a knock in training during the week, so was unavailable for Alex Smith after scoring the winner last week against the Mariners. Freier sending it across, and Robertson able to get control of that, but this Brisbane side have been in good form and have been playing some really nice football in this game, even without Yallop. Quite a young attack. And they've really stepped up when it's mattered, but a chance to go forward for Newcastle. Can they respond quickly? Goes out to Gallagher, up against Woods, sends it across off the post. Thunderous effort from Sheridan Gallagher. Not sure if she was going for the shot or the goal. Either way, that sent some nerves through the Brisbane side. And calm collection in the end. That's a high ball. Pryor uses the support of Bauman. Breyer. Chico. Copas-Brown closely followed by Woods. Able to turn into space, but immediately hunted down by Sian Freier, who was getting pulled and nudged by Libby Copus-Brown. So take a look at that. A few times Sian Freier has been involved in these kinds of tussles, and so is Libby Copus-Brown in this game. These aren't sides that shy away from a physical battle. Hayashi looked to be teeing up for it. And she just changed her angle ever so slightly, and that's a dangerous ball! Momo Hayashi! What an effort! And that may just be the goal of the season. She looked like she was setting up a teammate. Last minute changed it up. And what a finish from Momo Hayashi. Her third goal of the campaign. Robertson jumped for it, but that shot was way too powerful. Momo Hayashi, what a fantastic strike from the Japanese national. I don't know why she was sitting in the NPL Queensland for so long. Since making her introduction into this competition, she has been absolutely phenomenal. Another great goal from Momo Hayashi. Hoban, a timely slip. Hayashi able to collect. Maybe you have to question, could Tiana Robertson have done a little bit better? But that shot looked like it had a lot of power on it, and just went straight through her hands. Ball out. If Freier can keep it in play. Sending it across, and that strike from Copus-Brown. She hit it well, but it just going further and further past the post. It was a good ball from India Breyer. Every time that she's had a chance to deliver a ball into the box, she's been really, really good at it. Interesting from Newcastle early in the season, throughout the season, as we take a look at that effort from Breyer, every time they were sending a cross into the box, it was quite high. They've gone a lot more along the ground in this game, and it's proved to be a little bit more rewarding, getting better chances. And their leading cross taker in the game, in their side, Lauren Allen, is sitting on the bench, so will we see her in this game? I expect we will, particularly as Newcastle are searching for a goal, searching for answers. Sakani, Delahar, Hayashi, Levin just taking a little bit too long. Needed to continue the momentum and tempo that Hayashi and Delahar had started. Dundas. Delahar using your experience. Randell up. Smart just got in the way. And did exactly what needed to be done. Delahar was an Australia under-19 representative, but made the change ahead of the last World Cup to represent the Republic of Ireland. Played one game for them so far. You're looking to get a few more caps. And we're going to see some substitutions from the Newcastle Jets. So we've seen the last of Emma Dundas, and we're going to see Lauren Allen come on to the field of play. We're also going to see Josie Allen and India Breyer, the last we've seen from her this afternoon. So Fairly straightforward changes for Ryan Campbell. Allen, looking to do much like India Breyer has done when she's been successful in this game of sending crosses into the box and allowing teammates to create and capitalise. Koilamu. A foot race with Chico, who's gaining. Koilamu able to just hold the run momentarily, allow some teammates and supporters. There's Lauren Allen, first action of the game. Hayashi, McQueen, sorry. Cleared away from Josie Allen by Momo Hayashi. What a great goal from Momo Hayashi to get the 4th of the game, the 3rd of the season. Koilamu. Woods. Not able to find a teammate that time. Bauman. Koilamu, as Pryor just gives up and works for the angle instead. And that pass needed to be a lot better. And Sian Freier is letting Grace Koilamu know about it. Gallagher. Davis. And just running out of space was Josie Allen. McQueen. Cut off by Allen. That's a good ball. Hoban. Maybe needed to take it the first time. Jackson let that ball sit, and then Varley cleared the danger. Bauman. Picked off by Freier. This time, Sian Freier chases it down. Tash Pryor close by. Can she work some magic? Freier able to beat Pryor, who went to ground. Woods searching. Finds Sian Freier. He's been left alone. Tight angle, blocked by Pryor. And Sian Freier just looks like she's holding, I don't know if it's her ankle or, not quite sure what it is exactly, but take a look at that shot on goal. I think he may have just, that follow through may have made contact with Tash Pryor. Hopefully she is able to just walk that off. And anything to do with the ankle is never, ever nice, always very painful. Robertson. High ball. Didn't get a lot of distance, but it will stay with Newcastle. Hoban. Bauman. Got space to attack. Elects to go with Jackson. Bauman continue the run on the inside. Maybe that's where the pass needed to go. Allen is going to use that space that was vacated. Still Josie Allen, and that shot's blocked. Davis, only goal scorer for Newcastle in this game. Hoban now set herself up. The ball taking a flight out of the pitch. We're going to see some more substitutions. This time for the Brisbane Roarers, we're going to see Zara Kruger make her way onto the park. It's Tamar Levin, the last we've seen of her this afternoon. Got a goal to her name. It'll be a quiet afternoon, all things considered, but when you get a goal, you're probably feeling pretty good about yourself. There's Zara Kruger on the field of play. Not yet to have her first action. Almost had her first touch. Copus Brown, Freier. Need to be brave, Newcastle. Just playing a little bit slowly. Need to up the tempo. As Gallagher just shoved off the ball by Holly McQueen. And Lady Freier. It's her name in the book. So McQueen was called for the foul. I think the initial yellow was something before. Freier finds Bauman. Davis. Copus Brown. Allen. Inviting ball, but there was no one there to answer the call. Kruger. Searching. It's Freier. Keeps Koilamu on. Beats one. And there, Zara Kruger just found herself in way too much space, and I think she was even surprised that she'd been left all by herself on the edge of the box. Allen has to hold her run. Able to just use that little bit of acceleration to get past Woods, create a little bit of space. Blissett. Not quite sure what's happening. So, play has been stopped. And not quite sure. George Ghirardello is pointing to something else over there on that far side. I think Newcastle reacted to the fact they thought the play had been stopped for a Grace Koilamu. It looked like cramp, which is by the rule book. Really need to stop play for a head injury. Just losing out on a little bit of momentum. If you're Newcastle and you're down 3 goals, every little stop in play just makes you a little bit frustrated. Freier, Woods did well, hugging the line, but found space. That ball may just fall for Zara Kruger, and it does. They have a lot of space to work with, but uses Debran Delahaye into the boxes. Koilamu certainly went for it. Will it sit for Woods? It can't. That time is, I think it was India Breyer. I know India Breyer that time. Kevin Jackson just getting in the way. So Grace Koilamu, last we've seen of her this afternoon, first ever goal in the competition. And it is going to be Tay Morris, who comes on for her first ever debut in the Ninja A-League competition. And Matilda plays her NPL football for Adelaide University, but a debut. And we're going to see Alexis Collins also come on. And Sheridan Gallagher, last we've seen of her this afternoon. Smart pass to Collins, back to Allen, sending it across, and there is Josie Allen. That shot coming off a teammate, it looked like. Have to take a look at that once again, but Copus Brown trying to keep this play alive. Bauman, Davis. Allen, such a tricky forward, Josie Allen. And it's a good ball over, and it actually came off Deborah Ann Delahaye. Allen did essentially everything right, just had to take a shot on, and just had to be in the right place at the right time, and she was that time. That did look like went out of play. Hayashi. Kruger. She's going to miss that time. Hoban. Jackson. Still Jackson, forced a little bit wide and deflected out. Had options. Jackson just got forced a little bit further wide than I think she initially wanted to after receiving that pass. Copus Brown. Bauman. Searching. Allen. And cut off by Kruger.
Good, perfect, good.
Much slower tempo this second half. A little bit more stop-starty. You can see that. 7 shots outside of the box. So Hoban comes away with that. If you are Brisbane, and you're looking at a stat to make you very, very happy, that is it. Forcing Newcastle to take a lot of their shots from outside the box. Looking at all things XG, they're at high chances usually. Blissett able to shield it and regain possession. Varley. That ball is going to stay in somehow. But Chico able to regain control for the Jets. And they find a goal in the next few minutes, Newcastle, to really change the dynamic of this game. But because at the moment, for Alex Smith and it's Brisbane side, feeling pretty good about yourselves. Not under a lot of pressure. Feeling good about the way this afternoon has gone for the Raw. Hoban found the feet of Allen, but Allen couldn't hold on to the ball. Freier. You can look at that shooting accuracy. That is a scary sight if you're a Newcastle player or fan, 13%. There's not a good stat line at all. For Brisbane on the other side, 50% shots have been on target. It's exactly what you're after, Hoban. Sending it across, finding Jackson. Jackson able to get the shot away, got a second chance at it. Couldn't get power the first time, and then wasn't in the right position to send it forward the second time. Really the first time that Olivia Sakani has really been called. That ball sat up, and in the end, Holly McQueen was there on the line to cover. Freier. Getting trapped in space, but winning a throw in. Freier. Freier, high looping ball, and chance to attack the spread out Brisbane defence. Newcastle, they've given it away in a dangerous area. Morris sends it across, Robertson, and there it is! Lainey Freier gets her second of the afternoon, and that may just be the final nail in the coffin for Newcastle. Fell nicely for her. She was waiting in the box. She is now officially sitting on that trick watch. It was poor as was created by the debutante Morris. Just sent it. Robertson did everything right, but nobody followed Freier into the box. Lainey Freier gets her second of the afternoon. Two very nice, relaxing goals for the forward. Been in the right place at the right time and have certainly been rewarded. Blissett. Woods. And if you're Newcastle, this is getting in a territory of just dangerous goal difference. They're sitting 6 at the moment. Obviously, we are very early into the league campaign, but do not want that goal difference to balloon out, particularly in a league that's looking quite tight, particularly in the middle of the pack. So it's going to be a fine margin when we get to the end of the season about who's making the 6. Blissett. Freier. Most goals Brisbane have ever scored in a match is 6. They've done it a few times. So could do it again this afternoon if they want to, if they can create a good enough opportunity to do so. Last time was all the way back in 2014. Sorry, 2021. As Freier gets her third. And there's the hat trick. Quick as you like. Their second came, and there was the third as well. And the 6th goal. Momo Hayashi, beautiful ball across. Sian Freier sets her sister up for a second time. What a special afternoon. 2 assists for your sister's goals, and she got her first hat-trick in her first ever start. A lot of firsts and a lot of great moments for Lainey Freier to continue in her career But piling on. Misery for the Newcastle Jets. And that's the last we've seen of Sian Freier. And Emily Pringle comes on. And Isabel Hoyas has come on as well. That ball straight out. Josie Wilson has come on. And that ball is needing somebody to head it on, as Lauren Allen did so, but couldn't keep it down.
1,616. Thank you for coming out to support your team.
Leah Varley, who was on second yellow card, has come off for Isabella Hoyas. As Devon Jackson was replaced by Josie Wilson. Bauman. Hiyashi being the one member of the wall. Bauman gonna set it up and misses everybody. Six is, as I mentioned, the magic number for Brisbane in terms of most goals ever scored in the game, and it's the biggest winning margin as well. And Newcastle as a club are very familiar, because all the way back in 2009 it happened to them. 6-0 defeat to the Brisbane Roar. So in line for potentially their biggest defeat if the Roar get another one. You see Libby Copus-Brown down on the ground as Kruger did similar to what Sheridan Gallagher did in the first half against Blissett, off the ground. Just they made contact. Bauman once again lines up. Will she this time go for a strike on goal? Bauman goes for goal, and that was never troubling Olivia Sakani. Kruger nudged off the ball, but won back immediately by the Roar. Morris and Freier putting pressure on Tash Pryor, and Finds it out with Josie Wilson. Chico, a little bit of space to work with, got some numbers in support as well. Lauren Allen, who she elects to go with. Good ball into the box, and then it sails. It was inviting, but then it just continued on its path and it missed everybody. Allen. Bauman to Davis. Two experienced players in this side. Sure will be their voices being heard in the rooms after to regroup as a side. They've been part of some big wins. This is going to be a loss that maybe stings a little bit. Bauman, Woods. Chance to send it across, but headed away by Wilson. Hayashi, and just not on the same page as Morris. Ryan Campbell has got a look of frustration on his face. Just never been smooth sailing this season. When things have looked like there's an uptick in form, things are going right, something just goes slightly off. Coming off the high of a really good win in the face of adversity last week against Sydney FC with the player down. And coming into this game, you'd think maybe there's been a little bit of momentum. But Brisbane, for the most part, have been able to pick Newcastle off. Being able to get what they wanted in terms of chances. So that ball falls out wide. Chico has to defend cautiously. And Wilson clearing it away. They find a little bit of space. Morris not able to control it for Freier. Finds Allen. Copus Brown. Coben. Smart touch. Not many options up ahead. So those final third entries and chances they've struggled with at times. One plus for them is both Brisbane and Newcastle are two of the top two sides in terms of chances created. But for Brisbane, as we've seen today, they've been able to put them away. For Newcastle, they've struggled at times to put them away. Something they're going to need to work on. Going to need to find an answer. Either it's going to need to be a little bit more solid defensively and really have their games be low scoring if they can't reliably find goals each week. And up high volume as well. They're going to somehow need somebody to find goals very, very quickly. They lost a lot of goals at the start of the season with also Serena Bolden and Melina Reyes, but need somebody to step up. And one of the promising players, Allen, sends it across and then over the top from Alexis Collins. Been some bright spots. Josie Allen has been really, really good every time she's had an opportunity to play on the wing. Does Ryan Campbell need to tinker with the playing style? Allen. Wins it back. Hayashi. It's been so good. Seen so many goals. May have forgotten about her free kick to start this second half. The 4th goal of the game. Beautiful effort. Maybe Tiana Robertson could have done a little bit better, but don't want to take anything away from Momo Hayashi. Even take that strike on goal. McQueen just able to shield Collins away from the ball. Delaharp. Freier misjudged the flight of the ball, and Morris too heavy with the touch to really capitalise on that chance. Woods stuck a boot in, one out, got the ball back after giving it straight back to Wilson, and there is the effort, and there is Tiana Robertson. It's Ash Prior's on the ground. And Aisha Woods is that effort, but Tash Pryor, that initial challenge, losing out and feeling the impact of it. No, Tash Pryor is a player who's throughout her career had to take time off, dealt with concussions, so obviously hoping it's nothing like that. And nothing, she does land quite heavily and she's grabbing her neck, so strange thing to say, but you'd rather be just locking up, maybe, as opposed to a concussion for Tash Pryor, who's had to deal with them throughout her career. She does look to be okay, just feeling the initial impact of that challenge. No really good signs. Or if a player goes down, you never want that any time in the football, but in the case of Tash Pryor, there are some cases that maybe are a little bit better than others. It was a while ago that Cass Davis got on the score sheet to make this game 1-1, but since that point it's been all Brisbane Raw to change this game. They've controlled and dictated the play. Newcastle have struggled at times to play through, and Brisbane executed their game plan. Pryor back on the field, which is good to see. Delaharp. Hoyos. Hayashi. Just quick with it. Morris. Got space on the outside. That's where she's going to go. High ball into the box and headed over by Emily Pringle. Maybe needed to hit the target at least. There was a good ball from Morris, but I think it was that looming presence of Tash Pryor that just took Pringle off and had that ball sail over the crossbar, but maybe, just maybe needed to test Tiana Robertson. Allen able to find a little bit of space from Delaharp, a bit of footwork, and then blocked by Hoyos. Bellman cut off, found the feet of Hoban. Pryor chips it, and Sakani punched it away. Copus Brown felt the force of that impact. No free kick awarded, but play continues for Newcastle. Hoban searching, high looping ball, not dealt with just yet. Still that ball bobbles around. Chelsea Bliss is just going to send it. And that's exactly what she does, but it will only go as far as Tash Freier. So we'll come back for the Jets. Davis. Bauman. Allen. Just got sandwiched in between two Brisbane players as Momo Hayashi was the one punished for it. Yes, just got absolutely clattered in between the two. Such a tricky player, Josie Allen. And she just kept tumbling out of that challenge. Can Newcastle find something late? That's the goal to kind of set them off for the next week. Bauman once again sets it up and misses ahead of Lauren Allen. Well, she may have just got a slight touch and directed it straight down on the ground. But coming up for Newcastle next week, let's take a look at that one more time. Just couldn't get ahead to it. The Newcastle Jets are going to head to Canberra to take on Canberra United. And spoiler alert, if you would like to watch the Canberra game a little bit later, here's Melbourne victory up 2 goals against Canberra United in that game. And we're going to see 4 added minutes to close out this round 7 fixture between the Newcastle Jets and the Brisbane Roar. The Roar, fantastic afternoon, could really not have asked for a lot more. Maybe a clean sheet. That's maybe a little bit greedy in all at the end. 6-1. Comfortable victory, continuing on the fine form that they've had throughout this season. Really dominated every phase of this game. Never at any point really felt like they weren't in some level of control. They never felt out of the game at any point. Even when Newcastle were building momentum in that first half, they were creating chances of their own at points and limiting to Newcastle to a lot of chances outside the box. And they're going to take on Western United next week, Sunday, to close out the round. Expect that game to be quite tactical. Will Western United set up? They are typically, have been throughout their history side, good defensively. Seen some frailties at times this season against a Brisbane side who are really good form. And this was without Tamika Yallop as well, who's their top goal scorer this season. Yes, Morris. 2 hands to the back of Lorena Bauman. That's a way to cap off your debut, a yellow card as well. And that's the easiest call Georgia Ghirardello's had to make all afternoon. Ball over the top. Chased down by Collins. Hoban found a little bit of space and sprayed that effort well wide. There is certainly player of the match, Lainey Freier. hat-trick to her name. 2 of those goals assisted by her sister. In the right place at the right time, exactly what you asked from forwards. And now a question for Alex Smith about his selection next week. If Tamika Yallop is fit, who are you sending to the bench? Are you saying, thank you so much for that hat-trick, I really appreciate it, but I'm going to have to sit you back on the bench? Or is somebody else going to make way, or will we see Tamika Yallop start on the bench? Lots of questions for Alex Smith, but good questions to ask, and probably the headache that he would like to have. Woods, it's been good all afternoon, mopping up, progressing play, and taking challenges, and being fouled as well. So lively game for Alicia Woods, and that was a yellow card for Alexis Collins as well. This Newcastle side have done it to other teams, namely Adelaide United at the end of last season. An absolute thrashing in that game. So they know what it is to be on the other side, but this afternoon didn't go their way. They were going to have to regroup and find consistency, something they've lacked throughout this season. Almost finished. And now we are officially finished here at the number 2 sports ground. Newcastle Jets hosted the Brisbane Roar, but it was the Roar and it was Lainey Freier who got the last laugh. 3 goals to her name, a fantastic performance. Sister got involved as well, setting her up twice. But this Brisbane Roar side continuing on from that fine form that sees them second on the league table, keeping in touch with Melbourne City. Grace Kulamalu got the initial goal to start. It feels so long ago, within the opening 2 minutes of the game. But they've been dominant, they've been impressive. Brisbane Roar, they've done everything they've needed to do in this game. And lots of questions for Ryan Campbell to have to figure out. Momo Hayashi certainly put in a nomination for the goal of the season with that free kick effort. You can see the joy on these Brisbane Roar players' face. It's been a fantastic afternoon of football and a well-deserved 3 points. And it ends with the Newcastle Jets 1, Brisbane Roar 6. Take a look at some of the goals, all the goals. They're spectacular ones, and this is exactly how it started. Deborah Ann Delaharp with a beautiful ball over the top. Grace Kalamu found space and found the back of the net. Nothing Tiana Robertson could have done. Tash Pryor did everything she could to bring her down. But she wasn't to be stopped. She was determined to get her first goal. Ice cold, ice in the veins. Like Trey Young, who's pretty good in the NBA. That's a way to get it, but this wasn't the best from the Brisbane Roar. Sloppy play out from the back, picked off by Sheridan Gallagher. Found India Breyer, and there was Cass Davis ready and waiting, and it looked at that point, the Newcastle may have just found their way back into this game. They were building a little bit of momentum, but not too long after, 11, all by her lonesome, outstretched arm of Robertson. Wasn't going to deny that, but still wondering how did Tamar Levin found that much space in the box to slot it away. An easy finish. You can see the joy. Scored some tricky goals, but that one was fairly easy. And then Sian Freier finding Lainey Freier charging in, and that was the beginning of Lainey Freier's afternoon. Hat-trick. That was a fantastic effort. You can see how excited and how pleased she is. Celebrate with her sister as well. And then Momo Hayashi, the pick of the bunch. What an effort. She had a different run-up before this free kick and then changed it at the last minute. I think she thought, you know what, I can do that. And she certainly can. That will be hard to be beaten for goal of the round, maybe even the season. And then Morris sending across. Robertson did everything she could, but there was Lainey Freier, got her second, and she didn't have to wait very long for her third. It was a good ball from Hayashi, who was off balance. Sian Freier knew her sister was on a hat-trick, and there it is in her debut, starting debut, sorry. Lainey Freier gets a hat-trick, and Sian Freier is a part of two of them. A fantastic afternoon for the Freier family. And the stats, in the end, it was Newcastle who had more possession, but that was just purely out of game state. Brisbane were able to just give up control. Newcastle, a lot of shots, but only 5 on target. And it's all important.